just cutting out some glass. And just get that ready to tab everything in. We'll end up with a funny edge there. I can sand that back to that edge, that's fine. I can wrap it around like that, but then I'll have a line unless I fair that in, and that's going to mean messing up the face of that. I think I'll just sand that back to that edge. That'll be the easiest way to go. Right, so that's that front. I'll go 2 layers down that side. Down there. Use up some scraps. Just give it a little bit of extra strength along that bottom edge. Most of that's got to be hidden, so that'll be under the seating. That's it. That'll just give it a little bit of extra strength there. Down that face, this side's just to fair it in, tab it so that I don't get any splitting, so perfect. 2 layers down this back side and along the bottom, that'll keep that faired in, not held in nicely. Right, got this CSM out, so I'm just going to tear some of this off. I'm using my thumb as a rough measure, about 2 inches. So ideally, if this has been cut on one edge, so that won't feather out, but the other side will feather out nicely, so I'll probably tie that into the hull because that's going to be faired, and I'll use the wispy bits onto here. There we go, the wispy bits onto here because that will sand better. So if I use that on there, that there, tear that off. 2 layers up there, so I'll move out. This is quite a heavy mat, so this is like a 1 layer matting, so it's effectively if I put 2 layers down. A little trick I learned from a bloke in a fiberglass shop is I can actually separate this, I'll split this down the middle, so that's like a 300 weight cloth instead of a 600 weight cloth. So this stuff I can put on in 1 layer, I don't need to do multiple layers, so I don't really need the other stuff. I could just put 1 layer of this on and that would be more than strong enough to tie this in with. But I've got this other stuff for a bit of strength. I'm going to use that just down the main edges and on this side, make it look nice and neat. I'll probably split a bit of this cloth to go on this side, just so I can lose those edges a little bit. So a bit down there. Oh, perfect. Bit down there. Beautiful. So top and bottom for that. So I need a little bit more of this. any excess that I've got left over of this torn out. Won't be wasted. I'll use that for tabbing in all my lockers. I'll say this is quite a tough bit of cloth, this stuff. It's heavyweight. Heavy. Probably more than I need for most applications. Like I say, I could split that into two. But if I do it that way, it ain't going nowhere. So for that, I'll split it on this side because I don't need it as heavy. I'll leave that there and I'll use that at a later date. I can split that down the middle, like so. But I don't need it that heavy if I've got a layer of this other glass here already. Now I can lay that over there. Like so I've got that mat there, and I can lay that over the top. That gives me the wispy bits which will sand and blend in nicely along there. So a little bit for there, a little bit for the upright. And a thinner layer will conform better around the edges as well. Over there, so where to go. Right, I think that is about there. A little bit over the front of that. This will just help soak up any excess resin as well. A bit left there, a little bit for the front. Mask I'll be needing in a second. That is it. I think I'm ready with the glass, so I need to clean this up, get that all prepped, and then glass it in. So coming up, a bit of fiberglass in.